This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it is a Monday afternoon. Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti, Nick Perotti, we are here. Our program today being brought to you by the likes of Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council at 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And right across the street, it's First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Talk to them about their special CD rates going on right now. See Tim and the great folks over there. Lennox Auto Body with a couple of locations. The main repair center, again, taking care of all those hail dents. Lennox Auto Body right there on Dunn Avenue. And, of course, the Auto Glass and Detail Center, replacing those windshields as well over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs is just over there, seeing my good friends at Medicap, getting some vitamins. And Medicap Pharmacy is in the same location as always, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, two banking locations, the original location on Vanda High, and of course the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne, where they have some great looking Kias that need to be in your driveway or your garage, or when you're driving to and from work. Kia of Cheyenne with some sensational 2018 models. And you're going to find some great prices and special packages put together by AJ and Greg Miller. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. And again, delicious chicken sandwich. They have everything over there at Chick-fil-A that you can imagine. They are so popular and they are that good that their breakfast is now topping the charts as well. Monday through Saturday, see my good friends Ray and Cindy, the entire fantastic crew over at Chick-fil-A on Windmill and Del Range right next door to Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, your home for Jayco, fifth wheels and RVs. And matter of fact, some special prices and packages being offered right now from Steve and the gang over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Taco John's, you'll find loaded potato olays, the sirloin steak burrito for breakfast and for lunch. You also will find six-pack at a pound. Taco Tuesdays every Tuesday. Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we go to our scoreboard, always first and foremost in Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by our very special friends at Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Unfortunately, on the local side, baseball, it's all over as Cheyenne Post 6 wraps up the season on a loss over the weekend as they were up in regionals in Missoula, Montana. They did take on a team, Salah Pepsi Pack. At least on Saturday, they lost that contest, unfortunately, 10-4. So for Post 6, they wrap up the season. They will finish the season 65-20 overall, but again, just that game short from moving on to the at least Legion World Series. So again, we will have Ty Lane in tomorrow. We'll talk about that. And also, too, we'll continue on the at least the local side. Just give you a quick reminder that we are under 2 weeks away here on 1480 KRA from high school football action, where we will have game one on Friday, the 24th. It will be contest between Thunder Basin at Central High. We will have that contest here on 1480 K to start out the 2018 high school football season.
We'll have a busy press box too, huh?
Yeah.
You, me, and Chris.
Yeah, at least for the first 2 games.
What
and then we'll...
What a trifecta that will be, huh?
And you kind of wonder to yourself why we'll have 3 people in, but we'll explain to that, at least to you all, next week.
You know, it's interesting, too, where you have your championship belts, so we're going to have...
Well, I deem that...
have a 6-man tag team, huh?
Yeah, you can find your own belt and whatnot. Those I crowned during the basketball season, so... Still, me and Chris still
have my Stone Cold belt, and I still have my the original John Cena belt, so I could just take.
You didn't pay for any of those. I did.
You lived at my house at the time. Somehow,
I still paid them.
Yeah, somehow that money came from me.
I didn't see you going to Omaha and buying that one.
That's all right. Somehow the money came out of my pocket, though. All right, let's go to Major League Baseball for this afternoon. Braves have beaten the Marlins. That's game 1 of a twin bill in Cumberland, Georgia, and it was the Braves all over the Marlins, 9-1. Game 2 will be getting underway here as we get off. It's a day-night twin bill there for the Bravos and the Marlins. Let's see. When we wrap up our program, Mets will be at the Yankees in the Subway Series. It will be...
That will be national televised as well, too, for whatever reason on ESPN.
Well, it's because Jacob deGrom is throwing. That's why.
Who cares?
He's 6-7 with a 1.77 ERA.
The Mets have 49 wins.
Yeah, and he's got 6 of them. White Sox will be at the Tigers. There's another. That'll be at Comerica. The Indians and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. This is the battle for the Buckeye State. And you know what?
Who cares?
You know how many fans are going to be there to see that at Great American Ballpark?
None.
A few. Just a few. That was awful yesterday for the Diamondbacks. Nats and the Cardinals will be getting underway in the 6 o'clock hour. Diamondbacks move on to face the Rangers interleague play at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Blue Jays and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. The M's and the Athletics tonight. This is a big series. This will be in the Oco. That'll get underway just after 8 o'clock. Another big series, Giants and Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. It's a big series where the Rockies are definitely going to keep their eye on. Angels and the Padres interleague play at Petco this evening, also in the 8 o'clock hour. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
A lot of baseball to talk about, a lot of football to talk about, and even golf to talk about. First, we will go where Nick had mentioned that the Post Sixers wrapped up their campaign in the regional tournament. They went 2-2. If they would have won against the team out of Washington State, if I'm not mistaken, if they would have beat them,
they lost the team to Meridian, Idaho, and I'm assuming this Pepsi Pack team was
out
at
of Washington State.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they would have had to at least beat the Meridian, Idaho team twice, since they were in the losers bracket. But you know, again, it's another season for the Post Sixers where they get
it's a sour end to a great
very
year.
good season.
Yeah.
You know, 65 wins. That is the most wins ever by a Post Six team.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the Sixers.
But
on
it does
that.
have kind of that sour taste to it, though. Again,
Yeah.
with the whole situation, it's kind of the same of what we saw with the Golden State Warriors. Hey, you broke that record, but again, what are you looking for? You want that championship, or at least get over the hump to finally have an opportunity to win a World Series. Again, fall short for Post 6, kind of the same situation of what we saw earlier, at least last month with the Cheyenne Mustangs. Again, having a good opening kind of 2 days out in the Connie Mac qualifier tournament, but then coming up short before at least being able to move on to the Connie Mac World Series for the Cheyenne Mustangs. So, again, great teams that we saw this season. Again, they both just come up that close, that short from making it on to at least the big prize.
Well, here's the problem, and Mr. Proetti here, Elder Proetti, is going to be opinionated on it. This is why we don't get to those bigger levels, because we don't have the proper baseball in place here in Wyoming. And again, it is Wyoming.
That's something that you can't expect that the state's going to do, legislative, local city council's going to care.
This is going to be a high school activities association thing, Nick. And again, too, it's also Title IX. So if you would add baseball, you have to add a women's sport as well, which would be softball, I would think. And again,
especially with softball growing, especially here in Cheyenne.
But again, this is it. It's Cheyenne, it's Gillette, it's Casper. But the Western teams,
Green River, Rock Springs, you combine the two, possibly. Again, you saw Jackson.
You can't do that for high school.
Well, I guess that's true, but
again,
Jackson had a good outing. At least, again, they came in full through at least the Legion baseball tournament.
Here's what you run into, though, and this is the sad part of this. Even though, and I look back at my graduating class in 1975, it was 500 people. Some of these schools only have 900,000 people in them.
Yeah.
And again, you are also competing with track and field. You're also competing with spring soccer and golf. But again, here nor there, I mean, to field a team of maybe 15 guys, 20 guys, it's doable.
Yeah.
But the weather is actually, I think it's more rotten here during the baseball season time than it is out west. So,
out west where?
Well, I'm talking Green River, Rock Springs. They actually, are a little warmer as you get west. So the thing is, will the Wyoming High School Activities Association take a look at the successes?
Well, from what we've talked with Ty and a few others, they've thought about it, they've entertained it, but are they going to move forward with it? It doesn't seem like it anytime soon.
Well, it's also another spring sport that's going to cost you money. You got to travel.
Yeah.
And again, too, in these situations, Nick, I would think, and again, having worked down in Sterling, Colorado, where Sterling tried to do a 3-game series. But this is back in the day. This was back in the 80s, where they tried to do a Friday game and then a Saturday doubleheader. That's where you tried to get your baseball in, was on the weekends. If you try to schedule anything Monday through Thursday, it's not going to happen. But look what we saw during the soccer season. Look how many games got wiped out because of the weather.
Yeah.
And they had, Jerry was in here or talking to us saying, and we got the schedule all, just in case this happens.
Postponing, canceling, maneuvering. Yeah, again, same would have to happen. Or either it's a situation where, as MLB has to do for its northern teams, hey, you move on, find your opportunities, your tournaments down south, head on to New Mexico, head on down to Colorado, or even Colorado's kind of pushing it, but go to those kind of warmer spots where you may have that opportunity to stick away, or at least be away for quite, maybe a month or so.
Yeah, but you have to have a league. You got to have the, the West and the East. I don't know how many games, and
I don't think it's
that makes sense to me. What you said makes sense. Maybe for a preseason schedule, maybe if they have.
Again, before you get into a conference action or whatever, there you go. You compete outside of the state, wherever it is going to be a little bit friendlier to the confines. And if that's the state of Wyoming, you feel bad for your probably northern teams of Gillette, Sheridan, Casper as well too. Are they going to make the trip all the way down to New Mexico, or is it something they have to go farther out east to? Here's Omaha, or is it
Rapid City?
But even that seems like you're kind of pushing it. They get as much snow as we do,
and so does Montana, and Utah. So I mean, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But I like that. That makes a lot of sense. If you could have your preseason schedule. And again, you would have to have at least, the 5 teams here in the East and the 5 in the West. I don't know now. It's expanded, obviously, but find out which teams are going to pony up and want to play baseball. But if you can get about 15, 20 games preseason south, but again, Colorado's not, nothing great shakes us either as far as weather is concerned.
No,
it might be a
get
little
just
warmer.
terrible weather as well. Yeah, at least during those months, not as rough as probably what we see, especially with the winds added on to everything. But it's a situation where what action you would have to move at least to do something like that in the state of Wyoming. Again, your probably best bet is to find where a cheap dome enclosure or something like that, where you could play indoor baseball essentially to keep you out of the elements.
No,
it's probably
I guarantee you that would get voted down in this city.
No, I wouldn't doubt it. But it's kind of the same situation over in Laramie to bring back cowboy baseball over there. The only logical situation to have that possibility is put it indoors. Again,
well, you have to do the
same
thing. You have to do the same thing with CSU. They've lost baseball too.
Yeah.
So, again, we're probably fighting a losing battle in this situation. I'm thinking back, too, and I know this can't happen. When I was at Cuesta JC after my high school year, when I went to junior college for a couple of years, and I was playing baseball and football at the same time. Because the weather is fantastic in California in September. So, we would have baseball from, like 1 until 3, then go dress up for football. Then we would have some games. Our football games were on Saturday. We would schedule, like, doubleheaders for Friday, because Fridays were walkthrough days for us. And then we'd have our regular season come up after the first of the year. But, again, baseball can be played all year long in California. So, I wish there was an easy answer. There's not an easy answer for this, though.
Not in this state, apparently. Again, with the kind of resources that we do have out here, again, with what is going to be available to these teams, and again, we are kind of under the 8 ball of being, the smallest state, or at least population-wise, of where do you have enough to facilitate, or at least again with your Title IX. Is Casper going to be able to have a softball team? Is Jackson Hole going to be able to facilitate that? Is Green River and Rock Springs able to facilitate both having 2 teams, baseball, and then also facilitating both 2 softball teams? Who knows?
I think they have.
You're battling population. You're battling weather. You're battling also of facilities. It's a whole situation. Will the Wyoming High School Athletics Association ever do this? Maybe in my lifetime it's going to be quite. I'd say probably, give it a decade or so. It's not going to happen here in the next few years. I'll tell you that. But will it happen? Possibly. But I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. Of maybe. There is a cheap way to get dome structures for baseball fields out here, so you can have that opportunity. Or
that's millions of dollars.
I get that, but I'm just saying, is there going to be that possibility that way that someone figures out of, hey, we can play outside of the elements, not here in the state of Wyoming, that's also cost effective for team, cities, whatever.
It'd be great too, Nick. It'd be the perfect world if you can dome all the way from Cheyenne to Laramie during basketball season. That'd be the perfect world.
I was going to say, just move the state somewhere else.
Yeah. We're just going to pick it up, move it to Hawaii. That's the way we're going to work.
Yeah, why not?
So, anyway, it's a good dream about baseball. And again, like I said, both the Post 6 as well as the Mustangs got a lot of springtime, summertime baseball in.
And they'll get their fall time in as the post, at least with Mustangs, as we talk with Rick again. They're going to prepare for fall. Same with Adam Galisi and the Cheyenne Extreme Softball. They're getting prepared for fall ball. Again, however long that does last, which, again, you see your first snow, end of October?
Yeah, but you also battle, too. See, here's the things, especially
and also do volleyball.
For Adam, he's got to battle volleyball, open gyms now for basketball.
Yeah.
And then in the case of Rick, he loses a good portion of his team. Even though he's stepping down, he's losing a good portion of his team that goes off to college. He's got very few young players. And then you got those that are coming up, but they're also playing football, golf, tennis, whatever the case may be. So it's tough to be a student athlete and try to do these off-season programs as well. It's just it's not a win-win, but it's amazing though in this part of the world, and I've said this for many years now, and I still with this city don't understand why they got to get everything done before Frontier Days. Our best weather in my opinion, is after Frontier Days.
Clearly, as it wasn't. Again, we haven't seen rain in quite some time.
Well, and I don't,
Granted,
I don't want to see it, but we'll get a thunderstorm here and there when we go do football.
Usually, August is where you hit your 90s, or it's just sunny.
And it's great September.
Not windy.
Most of the time. Very rarely. I'd say once in about every 4 or 5 years you'll get a snowstorm, and it's gone the next day. But the thing is, this is where we usually have our best weather. But and the city now has their co-ed, I think, going, and they're over 30, 35. I haven't played it in so long for the men's and women's. But the point is, here you go. You're looking at, boy, we got to get everything done right there by September, and it's like your best weather, your best tournament times are like August and September, but we got school and everything else going on. So,
do you think the city would make any smart decisions again after learning as we're approaching 1 year anniversary here with the show? You think the city does anything smart at this point in time, especially around athletics?
Well,
it doesn't seem like it.
You know what? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hell, they could barely get the roads right.
Wait a minute. It's 1 year, you said, right?
Almost.
Well, it's also, isn't it 1 month since we've had the tournament here in town? The Cabo World Series? Aren't we approaching 30 days on
guess what?
The
city council and everyone else just kind of went, oh, what happened? That thing? Yeah, who cares? I haven't heard back from anyone. Dick Shane or anyone like that. I put out the notices. Again, I can contact the mayor if you want me. I can contact Pete Laybourne. We can get them on the case of just figuring out, hey, is he going to pay us? Is he going to take care of all this stuff? Hey, I really doubt it.
The answer to that question is not going to do it.
But what are they going to do about it? Again, is the city of Cheyenne, they're just going to just let it go on by?
No, they're going to let it come in.
You put a big hubbubaloo on it. Again, you had all these resolutions, these vetoing. You had back and forth arguments. You had the leader of the city go out and accuse a baseball team, its players, its families, its coaches of
being whiners.
Yeah.
So
you made a big tiff about it, but now afterwards, after it's all kind of
you
set and
slapped
done,
each other on the back. You said, "Hey, we got it done. They're ready to do it again next year."
Yeah.
He brought in some teams that actually bought, they bought food and a couple teams stayed in hotels. So
$1 million of revenue in that week. I highly doubt it, especially when they weren't even taking a gate.
Yeah. Yeah, there was not too many people wanting to work for Mr. Avila, or Avila did not
he didn't care.
Get the right people.
He just wanted to get it over with, essentially get his money, and there you go. Again, hey, hey, you player representatives, go take care of the gate and, have fun, I guess.
I'll go cash my check.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little golf, and we'll talk a little golf because I know you're a whiner about it, and we'll be back after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 K-Ray, and you can stream live with us at 1480kray.com.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? They can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16th-month CD at an APY of 2.05% and a 27th-month CD at an APY of 2.27%. You can feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
All right, good half of football, boys. Now, good is good, but we can always be better. Look at Taco John's. They took those tasty little potato lays and loaded them up with bacon and ranch and all kinds of good stuff. They made something good even better.
Taco John's new loaded potato olays are loaded with craveable toppings for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
So olay the day, boys, and play like you're making loaded potato olays.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine expected, daytime high of 84, partly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 53. For tomorrow, it's going to be mostly sunny and a little bit cooler with our high forecast at 76. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night with a chance for showers and thunderstorms during the evening. Our low dropping down to 53. And for Wednesday, it's going to be partly to mostly sunny, and we're calling for a daytime high near 80.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame.
Let's play ball!
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Well,
it is a Monday, and do want to preface that Chrissy White should be in studio with us, but again, with us being on, at least myself being on vacation, and also too, Chrissy has been on vacation herself currently down in Albuquerque. She also had a little bit of surgery down there, so talked with her over the weekend. She will be back in studio next Monday, so we'll have the good triple pairing back in studio 3 to 5 p.m. with Chrissy White again from Channel 5, who will be in studio next week. So you two can get into the golf discussion thoroughly because I do not care. Again, Tiger Woods, hey, he got second place. Congrats, you're the first loser.
No, I'm not going. I almost.
Is Tiger Woods back after this, at least again, this run that he had, the almost win of the Open Championship, or at least the PGA? No, I still don't think so.
I almost had a story here. I almost made you eat your words. And again, the galleries yesterday were unbelievable for Tiger Woods. But
when aren't they? He's a big name.
Brooks Koepka is the one.
It's kind of like if Babe Ruth was alive. You're going out as much as, or even Barry Bonds. If some of these greats, and just using baseball, hey, if they were still playing, yeah, you're going to go out and
that's
watch.
the tournament Tiger needs right there. That's what he needs. And maybe this
he needs any major championship to win.
Yeah, but again, placing second yesterday, and the roar, the enthusiasm again that was behind Tiger throughout that entire tournament again made us almost forget that Brooks Koepka was winning this thing. And here's the guy who won the U.S. Open, a repeat winner of the U.S. Open, and the PGA, taking 2 out of the 4 of the Grand Slam. I'll tell you what, he's had.
Yeah, he gets overshadowed by Tiger Woods, who again finishes second.
Not really, not in my mind. He's not.
It felt like it over this past weekend. At least when hey, here's Tiger Woods. He's second place, and that was the big hype. You saw it on social media all over the place, going, "Hey, Tiger watch, Tiger watch." And it's a situation of, can he win this one? Well, he didn't. But we're so glad that he did. Now here comes out the pundits are going, hey, is he back? Is he going to win a major at least next year? Is this a good sign for Tiger?
If you put that up in Vegas odds right now, I think the answer is going to be very low. I think it'll be like a 5.
I doubt it. Again, what do we see at the Masters? Again, he was heavily
this is the first
favored.
time he was back. This is his first year competing in the Grand Slam, in the whole Grand Slam. And, whether he's pain-free or not, the point is, and again, too, they kind of beat up this course in St. Louis, Missouri. You got to give the golfers their due. I don't like the PGA because, again, you get scores like 16 under par. I like 1 even +2, that type of. I want the course to be hard, but in St. Louis, it was a nice course. Unfortunately, these guys just came out and blistered it. But Brooks Koepka, this is big news here when you're capturing 2 out of the 4. Now he needs to win the Masters.
I'm just letting you know, again, if you look at the social media side, whether it was Twitter, Facebook, again, if you go to ESPN.com, it was overshadowed by Tiger Woods. Or what happened again?
He's primetime TV, though.
Well, I get that. It is a big name. It is certainly, again, he brings that precedent. There's no surprise that he does have that following out there, but it is also to a situation of, again, he still didn't get it done. He still didn't win. Sure, he got close this time. He had a good run at it, but again, he still came up short.
Who was primetime when he was gone?
He probably McIlroy,
Jordan
Spieth,
Jordan Spieth. And again, these guys don't live up. They're great golfers, and let me not going to take my foot out of my mouth because McIlroy is a great golfer. So is Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. You go right down the list, Ricky Fowler. But no one brings the excitement. Again, it's not the Happy Gilmore syndrome. But again, look at the golf fans that Tiger attracts.
Well, again, he is a notable name.
Forget about his past. What he's trying to do is fix his life, fix those injuries that he's had, and now he's trying to play solid golf. Well, he has.
Yeah.
This year he has played solid golf. It may not reflect here.
And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve all this attention. Again, he is the biggest name that came to golf in quite some time. Again, what he did was nothing short of phenomenal, but it is a situation where he's been a shell of himself. He still hasn't won the big one yet in quite some time. And it felt like it overshadowed what happened over this past weekend of, hey, here's the true winner. Look what he did this season. Again, pretty phenomenal, taking 2 out of 4. And it felt a little disrespectful.
Well,
at least more from kind of the media pundits out there going.
Yes and no. I agree and disagree. Again, the charge. See, this is what golf fans like. They like it, whether it was Phil Mickelson or Jordan Spieth or Justin Thomas. It could have been any one of those guys. The way he was playing yesterday, it was like every time you turn around, look, he got another minus.
Who cares? Well, again, at least in my opinion,
the scoreboard looked a lot closer when he was making birdies yesterday.
Yeah.
So again,
he's still going to get it done, and I still stick true that he'll never win a major championship in his life.
This PGA tournament, though, was good for golf. It was good for Tiger. It
was certainly a confidence booster.
Yeah, if it doesn't give him confidence heading into, and I don't want to say it's now the off season, but you have tournaments. And you got the FedEx.
Again, he can win the little minute ones. I guarantee he will win one of them. He usually is guaranteed.
I'm assuming
for that.
He'll do something in Hawaii here after the first of the year.
But that's not his main focus. I think Tiger Woods at this point you got the taste of all those major championships. That's what made you a face, a figure, and a name. At least not even just in golf, but across the world. Again, why you were on the Wheaties box and everything. I don't think he really cares about those minor tournaments. I got to focus on next April.
I think the thing for Tiger Woods, what's going to be key, is health in the off season of golf.
He didn't look, unhealthy or any injury plaguing him.
He still has some back issues with him. And
it didn't seem like it was anything major that affected him throughout.
It's like Clayton Kershaw. You're always going to have those problems. And again,
yeah, you get adjusted to it. And I think in the off season, guess what? You go out there and compete in those little minor tournaments, get to it, get it done, and again, kind of work through it. Be the professional that you are. You got to work through it.
Well, looking at the leaderboard from yesterday, and again, too, if you missed out, the likes of John Daly didn't make the cut. Phil Mickelson didn't make the cut.
Is there any surprise?
Ricky Fowler, I'm waiting on this guy. This is probably the next guy to charge for those titles. He did not. He was eight shots off the pace. The last year's winner, Justin Thomas, he kind of rallied a little bit. He was down for a while, and he rallied back with a 65 in round 2. He finished 10 under par. Spieth made a good showing. He finished at 8 under par. So and the one guy too you got to watch out for. This is a young man. He's out of Spain. This John Rahm. He's always up there. Amongst the top 10 of the leaderboard. And I think of guys like Seve Ballesteros. I think John Rahm is going to be that second coming of Seve Ballesteros. But again, Brooks Koepka picking up his second Grand Slam title of this season to add to his U.S. Open. And again, just solid golf that he had throughout the tournament. Tiger Woods, you tip your cap and maybe. And again, maybe there's that final one of those Grand Slams out there for him.
No,
he's still a young guy by golf standards.
Good for him, but is he going to get it done? And again, compared to this up and coming,
you negatively say no. A lot of folks are saying yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying yeah at the Masters. And guess what happened? He didn't even come close.
He didn't. But you know what? He came pretty close out at the Open.
Okay,
he played well.
Okay, you can take any example. I'm going off of what we saw at the beginning of this year, again, with the Masters are going, hey, again, this is Tiger's year. Guess what? It wasn't.
And again, it was his first full year back competing in the Grand Slam.
So,
all right, well,
it doesn't mean anything to me. Again, I'll take the field over Tiger Woods any day, especially going into 2019, 2020. It's a situation where he's going to get healthier. He's going to improve, but is he going to get over the hump of winning these championships, especially from these young bucks or young kind of upcoming grouping around him? I don't see it. I don't see it. Again, as you talked about all these others, again, John Daly, again, a few others, you toss them aside as well, too. Phil Mickelson, he might. I give him more of an opportunity to win a major than I would Tiger Woods at this point.
Right.
But I feel like the youth around at least Tiger and these other older kind of senior veterans, I think it's a situation where you see the young guns, it's their time. It's their time to shine.
Payday yesterday for Brooks was $1.98 million. Tiger pocketed $1.188
which
million.
Is chump change for him.
And it's interesting, too, because those that finished in last place, and matter of fact, like Vijay Singh, who has that exemption card that he can play in these tournaments for, however long. Vijay Singh, who finished down at the bottom, picked up a check for $18,800. Not too bad for 4 days' work. You got to like that. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We got more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words right here at 1480 K-Ray.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Paid for by friends of Mark Gordon.
I'm Mark Gordon. You know my priorities: budget discipline, schools, and jobs. Other candidates are trying to tear me down for their own purposes, but their attack ads really say a lot more about them. It's simple. If you like what they're selling, vote for them. But I have real experience managing state government and a proven track record. I need your support. They want to buy a title. I'm applying to do the job.
Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, Pro Man. Me, Senior Pro Man. Gosh, I do feel like a senior now.
Clearly, yeah, you. Yes, it is your birthday.
Thank
whatever it's worth.
It is.
You're what, like 90? 100? Something like that?
After having
a
you
billion
around
in dog
for
years?
all these years, After having you around all these years, yeah, I feel like I'm 90. But
I didn't do anything.
61 today.
Ugh.
61.
I don't know how you do it.
You shouldn't laugh.
Don't you get your AAP card by now?
No, I'm going to start applying for Social Security.
I was going to say, yeah, you're what, 4 years away from that? Or did they up the age?
I'll take it next year.
All right. Take it away from, again, my money that goes into it.
You're breaking me. Oh,
yeah, you're taking my money to go use it for you.
I paid my share, pal.
I'm paying my share. I want it back.
we go talk to the guys up in D.C., not me.
Yeah, please.
Let's see. Yeah, so 61 today. You know, it's interesting too because obviously you never really saw your grandmother because she passed away before you were 1.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like every year is just an extra added value on the old pro shop tree. That I hang around because both my parents passed away at young ages.
Yeah, but then on the other side, you look at the other ones and the other 2 grandparents that went to, what, 90, 95-ish?
Your grandmother on the other side was, what, 93, if I'm not mistaken? She would have been 95 or 96.
Something like that.
And then your grandfather, if he wouldn't have broke his hip. Man, oh man, that was a tough one when your grandfather, when he fell, and he never really recovered back. But he was in his late 80s when he passed away.
I think so.
Yeah,
but I know other family members on that side that have pushed 90 or at least lived on quite some years.
From your grandma's side, absolutely. Yeah. So what is it about age? I don't know. I'm glad to be here another year. And you and I know from about 2 years ago we didn't know really what the future was going to hold for me.
There was only one moment, at least it would probably be that beginning surgery and whatnot, but other than that, though, it was like, smooth sailing.
I just saw when they threw the word.
But again, also, too, it's 2016, 2017, 2018, these years, medical advances have been phenomenal, and again, you were at one of the top-notch facilities in all of the state of Colorado, or at least kind of the Rocky Mountain region, so,
But you didn't know back then, and anytime somebody throws the C word at you, it's like, oh, jeez, it's almost like,
you had it probably in the most minute spot though of the nose.
Again, I had the 1 in a million cancer. That's what. Remember?
Yeah, the rarity, but
I had the rarity of it. So
but they didn't say anything that it was going to be drastic or it was going to cause anything crazy.
I mean, they're making me sign stuff like, "Hey, you don't mind if we use this for our books and we're teaching our." I mean, how many students did we have come in there while they were prepping me for that first surgery?
I don't know.
Criminy. It was like I felt like a guinea pig in that particular first surgery.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's drop all that. Again, thank you for the birthday wish. Appreciate that. It's good to be here. You're next.
Ugh.
August. Matter of fact, Don Morris, our account representative here, he also celebrates on the same day. Sheriff Danny Glick also has a birthday today. So happy birthday to Sheriff Danny Glick. So
I think Boogie Cousins as well too. His birthday's today. So
your sister was over the weekend.
10th, yeah.
And then you're Thursday.
The 16th, yeah. Unfortunately.
Well, I had plans for something good on Thursday. If you want to scrap it, that's fine.
What do you mean plans? You never plan out anything. The only plans that I know of is Sunday we'll go to the Sky Sox game. That you're welcome.
you're gonna take me down to the Sky Sox. Are they playing the Giants? Or they taking
no, they're playing the Kansas City AAA team with the Omaha Storm Chasers or whatever. But it's still baseball, and I've seen plenty of Rocky games. I could care less to be amongst those fans, but it's a situation where I haven't been to Sky Sox Stadium down there in Sea Springs for quite some time.
Yeah, I took you there back. You want to know how long ago it was? I remember that.
Yeah, they were a AAA affiliate of the Rockies. That's how long ago.
And Larry Walker was rehabbing with them. Matter of fact, he hit a home run, and then he was on a bus back to Denver after that.
Yeah, talk about how wacky. Again, you have a AAA team right down the corridor. That would be kind of the same situation the Avalanche have right now with the Colorado Eagles. Hey, we need to bring someone up. You're just, 40, 50 miles away? Have at it. Instead, the Milwaukee Brewers now call that team their AAA affiliate for whatever reason.
Do we have anybody? I'm assuming that you have looked at the Brewers roster.
No, I haven't looked at any rosters.
I thought you would see if anybody down there.
It's a game. I saw the tickets. They were right behind home plate, first row. I figured, why not? We got nothing better to do on a Sunday at one in the afternoon. Go right ahead. It's baseball, and plus, I don't want to go down to Coors Field where, again, pay $20 for parking and probably get some nosebleed seats. No, this is right behind. It's going to be cheap. It's 50-cent hot dog day down there. There you go.
50-cent dogs?
Yeah.
I like that.
So you're going to have all of the hot dogs you want, or at least you can afford, which is probably one.
You're basically buying.
No. Well, I bought everything else.
Well, you should treat dear old. You know what?
It's my birthday, too, around that. That game's going to be closer to mine.
Well, you know what? I'm going to let you have the thrill on your birthday of driving.
Great.
Back and forth.
Great.
So there you go. I'll nap on the way down and on the way back.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I'm better suited for that type of travel, taking a nap. All right. Anyway, so we're going to go down to see the what do they call it now?
Who?
The Brewers franchise. What do they call there in
Colorado Sky Sox.
They are the Sky Sox. So I can wear my Sky Sox hat.
There you go.
I still have that. The CSX.
Sure.
It's green and black.
I don't think those are colors anymore. I think they're like blue and red, but they are known as the Colorado Sky Sox. It has not changed. They've just changed affiliation. So
see, I got the old traditional Brewers.
I'm not wearing any Brewer stuff down there. I'm not wearing any Rockers stuff. I'll probably wear Giants or A's, something like that.
Yeah, but Sacramento's not in town that day.
I don't care. I'm not a fan of either teams. I'm just there to watch baseball.
Okie dokie. Gosh, copitude. Hey, we got Pat Graham join us here in the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm holding off on
He might be a little loopy as he's, at least he had a 2 o'clock dentist appointment, so we'll see if he got the gas.
Yeah, well, we want to talk Broncos stuff because the Broncos played this weekend.
I guess.
Well, I mean.
I think what's the bigger news, at least in Colorado, is the Rockies, and especially what they did over the past weekend.
And again, here's what I said.
What was it, 3 walk-off wins?
Yeah, and I said the Rockies needed to win 3 out of 4. So
they did.
So
I still don't believe this team's a playoff team. It's too streaky, and you can't depend on that bullpen. I don't think, again, that was something that not saying this team couldn't do, clearly it did, of relying on its offense, but it's going to rely on its offense too heavily where in situations where, hey, you take advantage of there at Coors, but try and get it done at Houston. Try and get it done at Dodger Stadium. Try and get it done at Arizona. Try and get it done wherever you are on the road. It's not going to happen. I don't see it. Again, you saw something that's very, I wouldn't say rare, but it's very odd of what it was. Not saying the team couldn't do it, but I don't really see a repeat, at least to end out this regular season for the Colorado Rockies.
Well, and again, the wins for the Rocks amongst a very good crowd. I mean, for the Dodgers,
hey, they finally showed up.
It was a great crowd.
It seemed like a lot of them, even Chris Bolton, the Dodger fan that he was at one of those games. It seemed like it was kind of a split between Rockies and Dodger Blue out there.
Similar to the Athletics when they were home. The update that we have on Nolan Arenado, who missed the last 2 days, the shoulder, he says he's confident he'll play Tuesday against the Astros. So, again, that is coming from Nick Grote of the Athletic Denver reporting today that Arenado should be able to head back onto the field here on Tuesday. And that was kind of a weird thing that happened to him against the Dodgers. So, and again,
well, he'll be back for the main one, or at least the main series. Again, a very cool all-in.
Here's the thing, too. Think about this. And I was discussing this with a buddy of mine at coffee today. It's interesting with the Dodgers. The Rockies caught the Dodgers at the right time because Jansen went back to Los Angeles with the irregular heartbeat. They don't have their closer.
Yeah.
How about the Astros? They're beat up to snot right now. They're hurting.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, they're hurting right now. Really? They got some key performers that are not there right now.
Still a solid team, but yeah, they are missing a few.
They're a good team, but they're not the great team with these pieces that are missing. So the Rockies are heading to Houston.
But I don't think the Rockies can go in there and, hey, we're going to take advantage of these guys. This is ours in the bag. No, especially on the road there in Houston, they're going to put up a great fight. And again, you can't sell short that the Houston Astros right now are trying to fight off the Mariners and the A's right now, of trying to keep them at bay there in the AL West from taking it over that top spot. They still have an objective. It's not like it's wrapped up for them that they're a playoff-bound team, which they are, but they haven't solidified that. They still have those teams nipping at their heels. This series matters for them. This is like for the Rockies for the rest of the remainder of the season. For the Houston Astros, this is one of many series that they need.
Every series right now for teams that are involved or on the wild card side of playoffs. And again, in my opinion now, I believe that only the division winner out of the West is going to go to the playoffs. I don't think there's going to be a wild card out of the West.
Yeah, I think the Central's going to take over that, and maybe one out of the East.
I think you're right there. I don't see Philly and Atlanta folding up shop.
No, not at this point. They've been going back and forth, and they have not slowed down. You'd figure one of them would have after the All-Star break, but they haven't. Again, out of the Central, Brewers are going to be competitive. Cubs, obviously,
and the Cardinals. You can't shut them down yet.
They've kind of come back into things, but again, the NL West, where I anticipated that you would have 3 representatives out of there. Yeah, it's looking right now, especially with the other teams. It's a situation where you're going to have your NL West. Whoever's winning that division is going to take it by. Now, who is going to win that division, we do not know, especially with the Rockies. Again, it's all clumped up again. Rockies, Dodgers, and Arizona all in the thick of things. Giants are pretty much out. Padres done.
But the Giants are going to have a say on who wins the division this year. Think about it. And matter of fact, the Giants will be able to step up to the plate when they face the Dodgers in Los Angeles. They got a 3-game set coming up tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
They play tonight.
And if it's going to be, is it Kershaw and Mad Bum tonight?
Maybe. I have no idea.
I got to look up that real quick here, so give me a second, because I think it's both their turns in the rotation. So
you didn't see Kershaw in the 4 series.
Yeah, I told you. Remember I said the Rocks would not see Kershaw because he had pitched in Oakland. So you're looking at Mad Bum and Clayton Kershaw. So you know where my fat booty's going to be at tonight, and that better be on the NL Network, or is it going to be on ESPN? It's not going to be on ESPN, is it?
No, on ESPN, for whatever reason, they're showing Mets-Yankees because we got to watch.
Who cares about the Mets?
Well, because, again, it's New York versus New York, so you got to get your millions who are going to turn in, at least not even millions, probably 100,000 tuning in for that one. But it is a good matchup. In that one, you can't sell short the Giants, especially on the road. We've seen what Bumgarner can do to that Dodger team, especially in that stadium. We've seen 1-0 kind of finishes between those two. So it is a situation for the Rockies. You are rooting on the Giants at this point in time to take care of those Dodgers, but Dodgers going to be a little bit upset. They're also fighting for their playoff lives. This is the big rivalry between these two, and they're going to put it all on the line against.
And again, they may be without Kenley Jansen. I think he's gone to the DL. But here's this interesting scenario for tonight. 2 of the premier pitchers in Major League Baseball, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Scherzer, and I'm not taking anything away from Chris Sale, but again, the mainstays. I mean, Mad Bum's got 3 rings already for his efforts with the Giants.
Yeah, World Series MVP.
Yeah, and Kershaw got to the dance last year. But
Cy Young Award winner.
Injuries to Clayton Kershaw. That's had him, 3 different stints on the DL, if I'm not mistaken.
Same
Mad Bum started the season on the DL, and, of course, last year with the ATV accident. But here's the deal. Listen to these numbers. Mad Bum is 4-4 on the season, a 2.69 ERA,
which is good.
Clayton Kershaw is 5-5, and he's got a 2.58 earned run average,
which is about where they're kind of on par with. It's just, for both pitchers, it's a situation where teams have not scored for them, or at least that offense has not come to at least their defense. So I wouldn't doubt it's going to be a 1-0 finish in this contest, which it usually is between these two. Again, they know how to go to the distance, and again, they put it all on the line. So, but again, if you're a Rockies fan, you're cheering on the Giants for this one to hopefully sweep the Dodgers, and again, help you out in the at least climb that NL West ladder.
Behind the Dodgers right now,
that's why I'm saying you need this to climb the ladder and not be farther back. Where again, certainly the Dodgers could sweep this Giants team. We just saw what happened with them at home against Pittsburgh, against the lowly Pirates. There's nothing that says that the Giants could even take one.
Well,
and
right now for the Diamondbacks, the schedule, even though they are on the road, the schedule does bode well for them. They do get Big Sexy tonight. They get Bartolo Colon, and Zach Greinke will be throwing for the Diamondbacks.
He won in the contest that I saw him at Globe Life, so he can get it done.
Yeah, so he'll take a 6-10 record, 5.18 ERA. Against Greinke tonight. But right now you would have to favor the Diamondbacks having a pretty good showing in Texas.
Yeah.
Rocks may struggle at Houston. Dodgers, Giants, you flip a coin in that series. I mean, it's been that type of series between the Dodgers and the Giants, and this one will be at Chavez Ravine. Again, coming up next hour, we get a chance to talk to Pat Graham, which is hopefully a few minutes away, as I don't think you've heard anything to the contrary that he's not going to be with us.
I don't have my email open, so we're just going to call him.
Okay, works for me. Let's see. So anyway, going back to the majors here.
We do have one last break as well, too, so we need to get to that as
soon.
soon.
Just real quick here, just want to if this thing will cooperate with me, let's just get to the standings real quick. We'll just do the West because that's about all the time we're going to have for it. Again, as they start play tonight, you will have the Diamondbacks. They're in first place in the West right now. They lead the Dodgers by 1 full game. That has been a back and forth topsy-turvy, but right now, and nobody's giving the Diamondbacks the respect. This team is just winning. And even though they've only played .500 ball over the last 10 games, they're not faltering, that's for sure. Dodgers game out. The Rockheads $1.50 out at 63-55. 31-27 now at Coors Field, so they're above the Mendoza line.
Finally.
Giants under the Mendoza line at 59-60. They're not good on the road, so hopefully they can change their fortunes around. Padres bring up their 17.5 at 48-72. How are the Red Sox doing? We want to give you an update on the Red Sox.
50 games above 500.
85-35. They're still going after that record, right?
Yeah, I do believe so. Again, nothing is showing that they're going to slow down. I think they'll absolutely get it. But is it a situation where, hey, congrats, you got it? I think for the Red Sox, it's a Warrior syndrome of you got that record, and now you need to cap it off with a World Series win.
There's nothing. If you
sure you did something great, but you need to cap it off.
If you get the record,
you are the best team in baseball. Prove it.
Yeah, nothing short of a World Series is going to make things better. The laughing stock of that East, the Orioles, and again, how can you even show up to a Baltimore Orioles game after all the fire selling they've done? They are 35-84. They're 49.5 games off the pace right now.
Tickets are cheap.
Put a fork in them. The birds are done.
I'd take advantage of it. It's like, hey, if I've never seen Camden Yards, it's probably $2 to see sit behind home plate. I'll take advantage.
There you go. All right, we are going to take a timeout. We're going to head into hour number 2. We'll be back after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken, so now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Thank you so much for joining us again. Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It is hour number 2, and hour number 2, like hour number 1, brought to you by some great folks. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Again, don't forget tomorrow it's Taco Tuesday. It is a day to load up on delicious tacos, especially when they're from Taco John's. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. We also want to thank Chick-fil-A, corner Windmill and Del Range, 6 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner from Rain City's place across from Menards. We also want to thank Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way, our good friends AJ and Greg Miller and the entire crew over there. Platte Valley Bank, Rick Flood and his great staff over on Banda High, the original location, and, of course, the eastern location at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy, same location as always, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body with a pair of locations. The main repair center for autos and trucks on Dunn Avenue, and, of course, the Auto Glass and Detail Center for autos and trucks over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, right across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue Suite, D in the Greenway Commons. It's Mondello's Pizzeria. How about the Wyoming-Montana Safety Council? We thank them at 635-4592. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. And we always begin the hour with our scoreboard. And our scoreboard, matter of fact, getting ready to officially light up here next Friday evening. Our scoreboard's on 1480 K-Ray, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Well, on my side, local region, at least for the baseball side of things, it is pretty much over with Cheyenne Post 6 as they lost over the weekend, at least on Saturday against the Pepsi Pack team up in Missoula, Montana. They lost 10-4, so it wraps up the season for the Post 6 Sixers. They will finish off the season 65-20 overall, so congratulations to the Post 6 Sixers. We will talk with Ty Lane coming up on tomorrow's show. And also, too, as you mentioned, we will notify you that coming up next Friday here on 1480 Carry, the airwaves, we will bring to you high school football action. It will be Game 1, Week 0 between Thunder Basin and Cheyenne Central, the new era of head coach Mike Apodaca. We will have that game here on 1480 Carry, which you can stream with us. And also, too, there might be another avenue, but we will notify you about that next week. So that's what's happening, at least past weekend, and coming up soon.
All right. Here's what we got from the Major League Baseball scoreboard. One game of the books. It's final. It's a day-night twin bill in Cumberland, Georgia, between the Bravos and the Marlins. Good news for the Braves. As they trounce the Marlins 9-1 in the opener, they will get things underway 5:30 for the nightcap our time. Speaking of our time, when we get off the air, it'll be the Mets and the Yankees Subway Series in Yankee Stadium. Jacob deGrom going up against Luis Severiano. It will be the White Sox and the Tigers. Indians at the Reds at Great American Ballpark. That ought to draw a big crowd. Let's see, the Nationals and the Cardinals. They will hook up in the 6 o'clock hour. Diamondbacks and the Rangers at Globe Life. It will be the Blue Jays and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. The Mariners and the Athletics in the Oco tonight. That's should be probably one of the bigger crowds that the Athletics will have. I think they are going to start drawing some good crowds now they're in the thick of
Again,
things.
they broke records with San Francisco and Oakland, but they haven't done anything. They haven't done squat since. They haven't seen any crowds out there.
I'm seeing right now, they don't have a lot of tickets for tonight's game available.
I'm just letting you know that they, again, going back to those, at least attendance figures and whatnot, they're pretty much mid-tier. Yeah.
Giants and the Dodgers tonight at Dodger Stadium. This is the marquee matchup. I'm sorry, it's if you're a Giant or Dodger fan, we're the Giants fan, and maybe that Polton character with the Dodgers. But other than that, this is the marquee matchup. Madison Bumgarner going up against Clayton Kershaw. Boy, I'd pay big bucks to see that. But the good news is, I'll see it for free. And
if it's even on.
Oh, it will be on. If MLB does not show this game tonight, then there's something seriously wrong. Angels, if they show the Angels and the Padres, I'll cry. Angels Padres at Petco at 8:10 this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you.
great pride in being prairie dogs, but our mascot needs more sizzle. And what has more sizzle than Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos? So meet your new mascot, a sirloin steak burrito.
Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos are loaded with steak and bold flavors like cheesesteak, steak and potato, and steak and shrimp.
God, Wachowski, stop eating the mascot.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine expected daytime high of 84, partly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 53. For tomorrow, it's going to be mostly sunny and a little bit cooler with our high forecast at 76. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night with a chance for showers and thunderstorms during the evening. Our low dropping down to 53. And for Wednesday, it's going to be partly to mostly sunny, and we're calling for a daytime high near 80.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. It's hour number 2, Larry Peroletti, along with Nick Peroletti, and we bring on our friend Pat Graham, AP Sports Writer. Pat, good to talk to you once again.
Hey, fellas, how are you? Thanks for having me on. I love it. I love talking to you guys.
Let's talk Broncos football. Even though it's
we're just getting out of the gate with that one with preseason.
Yeah, well, so, you know, we have to get through the good, the bad, and the ugly. So
it seemed like it was a lot of ugly.
Well, not really. And, Pat, I hope you would at least lean on my side. I actually liked, again, I don't care if it's the second teamers or third teamers. I really like Chad Kelly out there for the Broncos.
Well, I think you're not alone in that. I think that a lot of people felt that way. He looked, he looked crisp, he looked sharp, made some good decisions, made a couple, questionable ones, but there's no question he looked more effective than Paxton Lynch did. I mean, Paxton Lynch is. Had a it's not based on one preseason game, but the body of work here since they drafted him, he just hasn't looked what they needed him to look.
The Paxton Lynch, and again, I know this is hard to say right now, but this is a guy a couple 3 years ago I was touting. I've got to get this guy in as a starter, but is this guy headed for the taxi squad, or do they look like they're going to just say adios to Paxton?
Well, I think that I don't know if you can put him on the taxi squad. I think you got or the practice squad. You got to. I don't know if just logistically you can do that. Just because I think that in some ways you just got to part ways. If he's not going to be on your team, then I think it's time for him to move on and for the Broncos to move on because it's not salvageable. I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, the way Chad Kelly looked. I mean, Chad Kelly is first snap ever in the NFL, and he looked like he belonged. I mean. It was incredible. I know it's going against the threes. I get that, but still, he didn't. He looked like he could hold his own, and he's going to probably get more. He's going to get more reps with the second team and see what he has. And as of right now, I mean, I fully expect maybe Chad Kelly to be the backup.
Why does Paxton Lynch just again? This is his third year. Why does he still look uncomfortable there at that position?
Well, I mean, the game makes him look uncomfortable. I think. I just don't know if he's used to that. I mean, it was a different style of offense in Memphis. I think the coaches have joked that they had 7 plays in Memphis. I mean, it was a different system. I mean, that's the thing is you come out of college in that kind of system, and it doesn't prepare you for life in the NFL. And he still looks lost. I mean, he still looks like he doesn't have a grasp of the playbook. There's a play in the Broncos game when he had a wide open back out of the backfield on a third down, and it could have gone for a good gain, and he just couldn't get it out to him. And I'm like, that's pretty much a basic play. I mean, if you can't do that, I don't know what you can do. That's not coaching. It was there. It was execution.
Now, minus Chad Kelly and Paxton Lynch, at least what those two did in the first preseason game. But for you, Pat, again, it's first preseason game. You can't really take too much out of it. But what did you gather from at least kind of the positives for this Denver Bronco team that could head into this season, or maybe some of those backups who could be potential starters in upcoming seasons? What did you see in this first preseason game that could be kind of construed as positives for this Broncos team?
Well, I think it first started with Isaiah McKenzie. It's all well documented on his fumbling history last year. It's funny because when he caught that punt and he hesitated, everybody, you could just feel this, like, what are you doing in the stadium? And all of a sudden he went around that edge and he was gone. You know, he showed that flash that the reason why they drafted him. I mean, he looked like that punt returner everybody envisioned. I don't know if hesitating like that is always going to work in the NFL. I don't know if it was because it was like maybe Minnesota was trying a different squad back there, but on that play he looked like the returner that everybody expected. I'm like most of Bronco country. Cortland Sutton is impressive. There's a lot of good with him. Royce Freeman, I think he looks very impressive as well. I think there's a lot of. I think these two rookies could contribute quite a bit.
Yeah, Freeman, 38 yards on 4 carries, but, the one was 23. And then even Kelly had an 18-yard scamper for the Broncos. But other than that, the ground game still leaves a lot to be desired, though.
Yeah, the ground game, and so does the run defense. I mean, they got gassed pretty good by a guy, Latavius Murray. I don't think he's even going to be their starter, I mean, it's, Dalvin Cook is their starter, and he gashed them pretty good. I mean, I think that was more of an execution thing. I think you plug some holes, and maybe when Bradley Chubb is still learning. Once you get those holes plugged, maybe you're not that porous against the run. But Kirk Cousins and the Viking offense sure look good. I mean, they look sharp. They look everything you envisioned. And the Broncos, they can't say the same thing, obviously.
Same with Keenum, though. Kind of the opposite of Kirk Cousins, but again, you can't really gather much from the time that they were on the field.
I agree, and this kind of perplexed me. I mean, what was it, 2 series? I mean, I don't know. I guess I would have if I'm Vance Joseph. I'm saying, all right, we're gonna go 2 to 4 series, just depending on how we look. If we look great, sharp in the first 2 series, we're done. If not, we're gonna run a couple more. I'd like to have seen them run off at least one more series, and just to show that it was just preseason jitters and it wasn't anything to read into. But I think they need to call that for one more series, just in my opinion.
Now, Pat, for at least this has been a big conversation that we've had back and forth, at least between me and Pops here. But going to, at least, again, here we are in the preseason, 4 preseason games. As we mentioned, again, starters throughout these first 4 games, you see them play a little bit more closer towards game 1 of the regular season. But, again, we see 2, 3 series, if at all, from most of these starters. What is kind of your opinion on preseason for the NFL as a whole? Is it something that it's perfectly fine right now with 4 games, or is it something where we could probably shorten it up and maybe give fans 2 extra regular season games or something like that? What are your thoughts?
Well, 100% agree with you. I'd love to see more meaningful football than 4 exhibition games where Von Miller doesn't even play in the first game. I mean, I granted, but it's you got to have you got to do something because it's a money maker, and you're not going to eliminate 2 games just to eliminate 2 games. So you got to add them to the regular season, and that's just a different set of headaches. Maybe you put it in a second bye week and extend the season into mid-February. I mean, I wouldn't have trouble with that. I don't think most people would have trouble with that. I mean, more football is better football, right? I mean, most fans wouldn't mind in an 18-game season. But the problem with that is, it takes its toll on players. You're limiting probably, lifespans of players, or NFL spans of players because, it's 2 extra games and over 6, and then playoff games. It's adds up fast. But yeah, I would love to see an 18-game regular season and 2 preseason games, but that's probably not going to happen, not for a while.
You'd have to throw an extra bye week in there, I would think.
That's fine, and that's great. I mean, again, if the season goes until mid-February, does anybody really? I mean, would you be bothered by that? I sure wouldn't.
Let me ask you this question here before we move on to some other notes in the NFL. Chicago Bears come into town, taking on the Broncos this weekend. What as a fan or even us in the media, what should we be looking for this weekend? Should we be looking at more of the coming out of Chad Kelly? Should we look for that defense to buckle down? What are we looking for against the Bears?
Well, I think, yeah, sure. Case Keenum, you want to see that offense go, hey, a couple drives, a couple scoring drives, just to prove that it was an anomaly last week and that this offense has something going. Chad Kelly, yeah, repetitions with the second team. See how he does. He develops some kind of relationship with his receivers. Bottom line to me, what I want to see more than anything is I want to see Denver shut down Mitch Trubisky and that offense because, I want to see this defense show something, because against Kirk Cousins, they didn't look like the defense that could carry a team for a couple of games if the offense struggles. I want to see them just stymie the Bears, that defense.
So let's take a look at the quarterback class of 2018. Game ones are all in the book. Your thoughts on the QBs that hopefully might be the futures of some of these franchises?
Sam Darnold.
I kind of figured you were going to come out with that one.
That's my takeaway. I mean, he looked impressive. I'm that guy who plays college fantasy football, and he was my quarterback last year, and he frustrated me at times, but he's also awesome at times. So I like to see him. And then again, I mean, he's got. You hate to use this word, but he's got huge upside. He showed it. I just think that it's hard though, because you can't read anything in the preseason. Preseason is just a different animal.
Well, yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, I want to just go quickly back to the Broncos, though, and get your thoughts again with preseason. As much as, how much are we really going to read into what these teams are going to be like again? Broncos could go undefeated, and we saw what happened last year, where it was a complete mess for that team. But it's a situation right now for you, Pat. What do you kind of take as this Broncos team? Is this a playoff-bound team as is? Again, barring any major injuries to a Case Keenum or some of the superstars on that starting, offense or defensive side. Is this a team in the AFC West that can compete with the Chargers, with the Raiders, and the unknown of the Kansas City Chiefs? Is this a team that's going to does this team have a chance to win that AFC West, or actually make it to a wild card this season?
Well, you know what? I thought after watching them in camp a little bit, I thought for sure. I thought this team could be 9-7 and maybe 10-6 if things broke right. And now I got to say that watching what I saw on Saturday, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's that game. There's so many questions coming out of that game for me. I mean, if you're a Broncos fan, I don't know. That defense didn't look like anything like I expected it to look. Case Keenum didn't get not enough body of work to tell, but I mean, the offense just wasn't on the field for enough snaps to know what they're going to be like. You saw flashes of things that you could like, and you could hang your hat on that this team could be a playoff team. But I don't know if you really saw anything in that game, or you had enough window into that team to know if they're going to be a playoff team or not. I think Chicago will be a good test.
All right, we're talking with Pat Graham, AP sports writer. Pat, we're going to keep you over. We're going to do a little break here in a little bit, but I got one more football question for you. Nick and myself, we got into a very spirited discussion last Friday, again, with the National Football League. And again, I'm not trying to put you, on the pedestal here. I'm tired of the NFL talking out of both sides of their mouth. And again, I think with the commissioner being as weak as he is, I think he's a spineless jellyfish, in my opinion. But this standing for the national anthem, getting on your knee, raising your fist in the air, is this something where the NFL needs to act now, either keep the guys in the locker room until after the national anthem, or it's got to be mandatory that everybody stands with their hands over their heart? I don't know, Pat. What do you think?
That's a hard. I mean, that's why we've been debating this for basically 2 seasons now. There's no right answer. I mean, I like the way college does it. I think that they open themselves up to nothing because they keep them in the locker room. But I think that the NFL, they have to be out. Boy, that's such a hot topic and a hot button issue. I have thoughts on it, but I don't have any answers on it. I don't know what you do, because on one side you respect the players' right to
the freedom of speech.
Yeah, exactly. Right, but on the other side, you get why people are getting upset, and I don't know what the answer is. That's such a cop-out, but I don't know.
No, it's not a cop-out, because you know as well as I do, if we're at a game, what did they ask you to do? They asked you to please stand, remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem, right?
Exactly.
So the football players don't want to do that, and I agree with you. And I think this is where I'm at. And again, I'm a fan of college football. Obviously, you've seen a lot of UW games. I think keep them in. But, Roger Goodell, who's and his crew have screwed this so badly, I don't think there's an out for them right now, and I think they're just going to have more and more problems throughout the course of the season. But if they came down with an edict right now, like you and I were just talking about, Nick, I don't know how you feel about it, but again, on the college side, you're preventing any type of problems.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, I know me personally, and I was just thinking about this the other day, is, okay, so what am I doing during the national anthem? I am looking for players kneeling. I'm not even paying attention to the national anthem. So I was like, I am just as guilty because I am not paying attention. I am not honoring our nation. So as a journalist, I've got to see who's kneeling, who's not, who's in the locker room, who's doing what. And so I'm not even paying attention. So, and then photographers are down there taking pictures of people who see if they can see anything. I'm just saying that now you have factions that aren't paying attention, and so am I any better than that? I mean, I'm not paying attention. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Is that where do you draw the line? I mean, the players are getting grief, and I'm just saying that maybe it's just hard because it's just a hard deal right now.
All right, Pat, hang on just a second. When we come back, we're going to get away from the National Football League. We're going to talk some MLB and a big series that just happened this past weekend in Colorado with the Rocks and the Dodgers. We'll be back after these words right here at 1480 K-Ray.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We also have Pat Graham rejoining us as we turn from football to baseball. Interesting stuff that we can talk about off air.
It's my little baseball birthday gift to you because, again, we like talking with Pat Graham. So I figured, hey, why not? On your birthday, you get to talk with him.
You know what he's doing for my birthday, Pat? He's taking me down on Sunday to see the Sky Sox, the old. Well, now it's the Brewers Sky Sox. And
it's a road trip.
Omaha?
Omaha Storm Chasers.
What can I expect? Anything decent?
When's your birthday?
Yeah, well, it's today, but he's taking me down Sunday to go see the Sky Sox.
Because my birthday's Sunday and I'm turning 50.
I turned 61 today.
See, you're young. 60 is the new 40.
Well, I match my waist size, so I'm kind of a happy camper. I'm like Johnny Madden. I just grow with age.
So we got you today, mine Thursday, Pat Sunday. We have our sales guy today as well. I mean, August.
Your sister was on what was it?
The 10th.
The 10th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all loaded anyway. So baseball talk though. We want to get into Rockies talk.
Yeah.
What do you got? You had one.
Well, no, I was just going back to, I was just kidding with him on the Sky Sox here. So
it'll be fun. Again, you didn't have to pay anything. I'll be driving,
and
so there you go.
50-cent hot dogs, I can't beat that deal. But Pat, let's talk about the Rockies. We mentioned here earlier before we had you on saying that the West, and again, my opinion, and again, you're closer to the situation than I am. I think the West is only going to have the NL West champion, and I don't think any wild cards are coming out of there. This West has just been beating the snot out of each other.
And that's the problem. Is I think you have. I think you have three really good teams, and I think that I'm not saying you don't have a great team, but you have three really good teams. I think the Dodgers have the potential to be great. They just haven't found it yet. Rockies game and a half back in Arizona. Great position. Took 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. Boy, they look good. They look good. I mean, they pitched well most of the series. Ryan McMahon is emerging. I mean, they needed him to step up with Nolan Arenado kind of nursing a sore shoulder. And Arenado, I talked to Arenado yesterday, and he's fine. He's going to be fine. He said there's a little tendonitis in there, just a little tweak, but he's hoping that he'll play Tuesday, either at DH or at third. But this team they needed that. I mean, they needed to take 3 or 4, and they did that, especially after losing that Pirates series.
How important is, again, now you start scoreboard watching. Of course, the Rockies get the Astros, and we were talking about this as well. The Astros are a little bit beat up. I mean, the Rockies caught the Dodgers with Jansen, hasta la vista, because of the heart ailment. And again, we wish him hopefully a speedy recovery after the playoffs. But you look at the Astros; they're hurting. So the Rockies are catching these teams at the right time. But how important is that giant Dodgers series, this 3-game set, especially with Mad Bum Clayton Kershaw going tonight? If you're a Rockies fan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think if Dodgers take 2 or 3, that's going to be Giants will be 7 back, something like that, 6 back. I mean, potentially, depending on how Arizona does. But I don't know how to. I don't know if you can scoreboard watch because it drives you nuts. Because on one hand, you want the Giants to win because it pushes the Dodgers close, back farther. But at the same time, if the Dodgers take care of business, I'm not going to say it all but eliminates the Giants, but it makes the Giants climb back in even that much more difficult. Which would be just one more team you don't have to worry about as much. But going forward, I think that to me, you don't scoreboard watch until September 15th. That's when you start scoreboard watching. You can't. You just take care of business right now.
The young guns of the Rockies, and this is where Nick will disagree with me because I have a lot of respect for him. Gray has seemed to work the bugs out. Freeland is probably your ace of the staff.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
Anderson has pitched very well. If you get a few innings out of Marquez, he's pretty good to get you at least 6. And we get Bettis back pitching. But, these young guns are not too bad. I'm more concerned when you get into the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And sometimes I get a little frustrated with
but again, is that something new?
I get a little frustrated with Bud that if, Freeland is cruising along or Anderson, he won't let them go. 100 pitches, boom, they're done.
Yeah, they're young. You don't want to burn them out. And that's just the pitching philosophy these days. You just you have a standard roles and you stick with them. I mean, I don't know. I was kind of lamenting on the struggles of the bullpen lately and how even Adam Ottavino had a rough day yesterday. It just seems to be kind of pandemic almost. But someone pointed out it's every team in the league goes through. No one has that bullpen that's just automatic all the time. I mean, everyone has bullpen issues. You saw it with the Dodgers. I mean, with Jansen out, it changed the whole complexion of their bullpen, and they weren't the same. it's not. This is not unique to Colorado. Every team goes through bullpen woes. It looks really bad because it just seems like once one guy gets some traction, then Wade Davis goes off the hinges, or Adam Ottavino does, or Brian Shaw, or Jake McGee, or what have you, or whatever. But it's just I think it's everywhere around the league. You just don't pay attention to it because it's not your team.
But also too, though, when you mention the likes of Brian Shaw, McGee, Wade Davis, you're talking about a very pricey bullpen. That's an inconsistent bullpen.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing is you invest a lot of money in it, so you expect a lot. But I think that Brian Shaw's been better lately. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he's been better. I mean, he has been better.
McGee's not.
He has not, but he's so. I mean, one game in the Dodger series, he looked fantastic. Was that on Saturday or Friday? But he looked great, and he looked like Bud Black was saying. He looked like we challenged. Black challenged. What are you? And what Jake McGee is, he's a guy that goes out there. He's a gunslinger. That's what they need. When he starts thinking and analyzing, that's when he gets in trouble. Wade Davis, boy, I don't know. I think it was a confidence issue. He went through that little stretch there, and you can say I think he has 6 blown saves. I mean, he still leads the NL in saves, or tied for the NL lead in saves. I know that's a kind of a misnomer because saves are kind of a, I don't even know how to read into the saves, but you just want to see more consistency out of Wade Davis, and I think that it's a confidence thing right now.
You look back at the likes of Lee Smith, Brian Wilson for the Giants back then when you also had the other guy who came over from Florida. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. Before he got injured, you'll know who I'm thinking of.
Talking like Rob Nin?
Rob Nin.
Yeah.
You look at Rob Nin, the Dibbles of the world. I'm going back in time. Goose Gossage, even Mariano Rivera. You look at consistency in their performances. We just can't seem, and we had that little shutdown with Holland last year with the Rockies. We just can't seem to have that consistency coming out of that pen. And for guys that are pitching on the Bud Black schedule, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, every other day, I'm not too impressed with this bullpen.
Well, I agree. I mean, they have not been. If you look at that price tag, you expect more, but you can't have a Mariano Rivera on every team. He was a very special person and a special reliever. You would like them all to be Mariano Rivera, but they're not, and all you can hope for is a little more consistency. I mean, I'm not talking like you don't need oh my God, they're so inconsistent. We need way more consistency. I mean, Wade Davis is. I mean, it's frustrating because that game they blew the other day when O had 2 outs and then he kind of melted down and Wade Davis melted down. They were within an eyelash of getting out of that stuff, and they just can't close the door, and that's what you want is just close that door.
Well, with this bullpen, is it a situation then, again, as we talk consistency, is it something where it's not translating well with the player? Is it something that's not getting communicated well by pitching coaches there with the Rockies? Or is it just something of, again, Wade Davis, McGee coming in from other ballparks, or at least other teams coming into Coors Field? Is it a Coors Field syndrome? I mean, is there something where at least that consistency is maybe something we can spotlight on of, this is the reason why they're having these issues?
No, there's not, because you can't say that because he had 2 blown saves in St. Louis. I mean, that's it's happening everywhere. It's not just Coors Field. You can't say Coors Field. You can't blame Coors Field for this. I think that it's funny because you hear places and on internet and on social media, they should put Ottavino as the closer. But the ninth inning is a different animal. I mean, it's not the 6th, it's not the 7th, it's not the 8th. For whatever reason, the ninth inning it's just different. It just takes a different mentality, and when you have established roles this late in the season, it's so hard to break from that. Because it's everybody okay, my whole routine is based on pitching the 8th, and so all of a sudden, okay, I got the 9th, and I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but these guys are creatures of habit, and they do all their things the same way. And I just think that you got to stay with it as long as you can, and you can't. I can't see them moving Wade Davis out of that closer's role. I can't see them doing too much with the bullpen because this is what you got. This is what you need to go with, and this is what you're going to win with. And if you're not going to win, then you're going to lose with this too.
I look back, and again, obviously, as you and me are a little bit older, but you look back at the days where we would have a guy who's fashioning a 4-3 hitter through 7, and the skipper, it was a no-brainer for them going out there and saying, you go out there to the 8th, the first guy that gets on, you blow him out of there. With Bud Black, Bochy, again, the Dodger skipper, you sit there and they're from that same group. They're all from that same mold, but it's like they get to a certain pitch count and they're yanking these guys out. I was disappointed the other night, I think, when Anderson had a 4-hitter and then they're pulling them out. I mean, why does Bud Black feel it necessary to go to the pen every time? Why doesn't he let the guy go out there and start that 8th inning or give him the 9th? They're not going to blow out their elbows.
No, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. Other than I think they have. It's such a fine line. I mean, you go out there. I don't know. You stumped me on that one.
Again, Dave Roberts along with Black and Bochy, they came from that era where guys like Randy Jones was going the distance and back in the day, and then you sit here when they were at San Diego, and again I can go back to my old Giants days where it was common to see Marichal throw a 9-inning game and not even worry about the bullpen. But you sit here and it's like Bud Black he's got it fixated in his mind. If you get me to the 7th inning, that's a great job. That's a good day at the office. Let my bullpen take over. I go back to Anderson. Did you see any weakening of Anderson? I thought he actually got stronger as the game went along.
Except, I wonder if there's like some kind of, I don't know, maybe they have a better idea than we do, but maybe there's like there's stats on everything. So maybe after 100 pitches, it's not like a gradual, decline, but it's like off the cliff decline, and so they don't want to. They get over that magical number, and they don't want to. Plus, I don't know. Maybe they're not stretched. I mean, they're stretched out. I just think it's the culture of baseball right now. You're trying to. I don't want to say. Yeah, I guess I could say coddle their arms a little bit. Make sure that they're ready for their next start. Make sure that they can last the whole season. Because I mean, you're talking about a very, 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 very young pitching staff. I mean, Kyle Freeland's young. Tyler Anderson's young. Marquez is young. When Senzatella comes back, he'll be young. John Gray is still young. They're all young, and I just think that you want them to go in the 9th inning, but if it's detrimental to their health, and I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying that maybe it's I don't know, it's a fine line, because at the same time, if they go 7 strong and they're up 2-0, and you turn over your bullpen should be good enough to handle that. And if it's not, then I guess your argument is you live with it, or you might not go down easy, but you have to live with it.
I know Nick's pointing to his clock here real quick. I just wanted to ask you one last thing. I know you're getting ready to do some write-ups. Matter of fact, you had mentioned that you got to give us a preview of the Mountain West Conference, and you're going to do a little bit on Air Force. The Mountain West Conference. What are you thinking for this year?
Boise State, Fresno State. Boise State, Fresno. I think I like the Boise State team a lot. I think they could be a factor in the group of 5, obviously. But who knows? If they pull off wins at Troy, wins at Oklahoma State, and they get by Fresno State probably twice. If they play once in the regular season and made the championship game, this team could make some serious noise come championship. In the championship playoff picture.
What about the team down, or at least south of us, of CSU? Is that a team where did they lose too many pieces from last year to not make it to a bowl game? Are they a bowl game team? What do you kind of anticipate for the CSU Rams this season?
They'll be in the bowl hunt. They always are. Mike Bobo is a great coach, although he's not practicing today. I don't know if you heard this. He has a little numbness in his feet, and he's getting checked out medically. So they don't know when he's going to. There's no timetable for his return, but. Hopefully he gets healthy here soon, and everything's fine.
And lay off the cholesterol. That's what he needs to do.
Hey, always scary. I just hope he's all right.
What about to the west, the Cowboys? Cowboys actually, correct me if I'm wrong, forecast to finish 2nd in the Mountain Division. They're boasting a great defense. Offense is going to be like I call a work in progress. Can this team compete?
Oh, of course they can. They're. I mean, they have a great coach, right?
Well, I'm talking about with Boise State. Can they overcome a Boise State? At home.
I'm not exactly. I just think. I mean, you have Brett Rippon as Boise State's quarterback. They have a solid defense again. Their offensive line is great. Brian Harsin's a great coach. Me personally, I look at Boise State, and I think they're gonna. I think they have a very good chance to run the table. But I mean, the only slip up is could be Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State's going to give them trouble. If they win that game, I'd watch out for Boise State. They could create some real havoc in the college football landscape this year.
All right, Pat, we're going to catch up with you during the stretch run, then that will get us into the football season as well, so we'll have a lot to talk about. And then, of course, hoops will be kicking up as well as hockey. So we can get all four sports in about a month or so.
That sounds awesome. Look forward to talking to you guys again. Thanks for having me on, as always.
All right, Pat, thanks so much. Pat Graham, AP sports writer, joining us here on 1480 K-Ray. We do need to take a time out. We'll be back after these words.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range.
This year marks the 175th anniversary of the first major migration west across the United States along the Oregon Trail. The trail runs through central Wyoming along the North Platte River from Torrington to Casper, then over South Pass and onto the west coast. Travelers favored this route because of the ease of crossing the Continental Divide. All told, as many as 500,000 men, women, and children would travel the trail. Independence Rock, Register Cliff, Devil's Gate, and the Parting of the Ways were major landmarks along the trail in Wyoming, helping to guide travelers west. This is Mike Strom bringing you a moment in history from the Wyoming State Archives.
We know Mark Gordon brings real experience in agriculture, oil and gas, even service on the school board. As a savvy state treasurer delivering record investment returns, he knows how to manage Wyoming's budget. The Wyoming Tribune-Eagle says Mark Gordon, quote, has a strong understanding of the challenges Wyoming faces. It's true. Mark Gordon knows Wyoming, and he'll be ready to tackle the challenges on day one. Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
Paid for by friends of Mark Gordon.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Weather-wise for today, sunshine expected daytime high of 84, partly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 53. For tomorrow, it's going to be mostly sunny and a little bit cooler with our high forecast at 76. Mostly cloudy Tuesday night with a chance for showers and thunderstorms during the evening. Our low dropping down to 53. And for Wednesday, it's going to be partly to mostly sunny, and we're calling for a daytime high near 80.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. No! We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
I want to go back to that story that Pat talked about, and I wasn't, making light of that because I had that actually here on my schedule here. Colorado State football coach Mike Bobo has been hospitalized in Fort Collins, undergoing further medical evaluation after experiencing numbness in his feet. The school made a statement about this today. Bobo is only 44 years old, scheduled to begin his fourth season with the Rams, who open up the season on the 25th against Hawaii. Bobo said in a statement that doctors advised him to be admitted to the hospital after Colorado State's second scrimmage on Saturday night. So right now he says he feels very encouraged by the test results to this point and hopes to have some answers soon. Also feel very encouraged about our football team. We have excellent coaches, excellent leadership in this program. So right now Coach Bobo has, a positive attitude about
well, again, he knows a lot more than we do, and again, if he's saying he likes the results, then again, expect good news, or at least he should be back on the field to get ready for Hawaii, which again, And I think CSU takes care of that Hawaii team very, very well. I don't anticipate Hawaii to do much, at least in the side of football this season, but he'll be interested to see. For me, CSU is, and again, Wyoming, that entire Mountain Division is all a big question mark except for Boise. I think Boise, and Pat kind of alluded to that, I think Boise is going to, I don't know if they run the table. It would be interesting to see if they could. I don't see it, however. They might falter here in Wyoming. Again, they do find...
I think they got their problems when they come to Wyoming. I think defensively...
I mean, there have been games they've destroyed the Cowboys before, but they do have a situation where they do go on the road and get surprised by minute teams. Will they this season? Possibly. Something tells me highly doubtful. But once you get past Boise State, I think it absolutely will be Fresno-Boise Part 2 in the Mountain West Championship. But the rest of the, at least, build up on the mountainside, the West, I don't think is going to be anything too spectacular. But the mountainside, again, with Wyoming, are they the second best team in the Mountain Division? Again, for me, something says I highly doubt it. And again, that first test with New Mexico State on the road is going to be a telltale sign for me. CSU, did they lose too many pieces for them to be relevant this season? Who knows? They've had a lot of good pieces that at least kind of remain with that team, or at least did not graduate last year. So is it something that they can get past the Nick Smith era, or at least
Tyler Vanderwall?
No, I'm talking CSU. Again, the Smith quarterback down there who graduated.
Nick
Stevens, that's it. Again, yeah, it's one of those two. Anyways, but getting past that kind of era, and also to Utah State. Are they going to be improved? Air Force, are they going to be improved this season?
I
and
will
then
say
New Mexico
Air Force will be a lot improved this year.
And what will New Mexico be? I think New Mexico is going to probably tail in. They're going to be bad, but is it a team that could surprise folks? I highly doubt it, but I think CSU, Wyoming, Utah State, Air Force, all four of those teams, kind of like what we're seeing in the NL West and baseball to kind of tie or at least draw parallels. I think it's going to be these teams are just going to beat each other up, where Air Force is going to get a win against Wyoming. Well, Wyoming beats CSU. CSU loses to Air Force. Well, Air Force loses to Utah State. But, again, it's going to be a lot of back and forth where you might see teams where they're coming out probably 500 in the conference because they just are beating each other up, where no one really wants to take a clear advantage from at least behind a Boise State in that Mountain Division. It's going to be very interesting to see. And I think you can, for game one for CSU at least versus Hawaii here, I don't read too much into that one. Again, they got to make that long road trip, or at least long flight from the islands to CSU. I think that's Rams' guaranteed win. You have to spot them points, almost give them a handicap of, yeah, you probably, with that length of travel, give them about 2 touchdown advantage for the CSU Rams in that contest. But, again, Wyoming against New Mexico State, that's a true test. Now, I haven't seen what Air Force is doing. I haven't seen what at least what Utah State's going to be doing, but at least for game one's coming out the blocks. But
look at Boise State. Here's their schedule, and Pat was absolutely right. They're not really going to get tested until week 3. And they probably
specifically set that up.
They got Troy, and then they got the Yukon Huskies. 2 non-football powerhouses. Okay?
No, not really. I think those 2 are probably same level as what you would expect in the Mountain West.
And then they draw the Cowboys back-to-back. OK State. Yeah. They get them on the 15th, and they're on the road.
Yeah, in Stillwater.
And then they got to come to Wyoming. So for Wyoming,
that might be the advantage where you may get them to trip up. But if they do lose to Oklahoma State, that might be your kind of revenge game, where Boise State is that team where if they get upset, or not necessarily upset, but if they are beaten on the road, kind of get dismantled, which they might against the Cowboys of Oklahoma State, it might be a situation where they look. I wouldn't even say limp in. It looks like they see red, they want blood, and they are coming after the Wyoming Cowboys, even in Laramie. But on the flip side, is it a situation where Boise goes into Stillwater, gets the big win against an Oklahoma State team, comes out to Laramie overconfident, and then trips up to the Cowboys? I can see that. It's also a situation where Boise, absolutely, they could run the table. It's a Boise State team for, it seems like, the entire decade, or at least since mid-2000s, where you kind of go into every season going, they could control the WAC. They can control the Mountain West. They can
Yeah,
they can sweep the whole thing.
They're all expected to win. There's no doubt about it in football, and no one's going to take that away from Boise State. They have had the athletes, they've had the talent, and they've had the consistency. Yeah. So I will give Boise State that. But again, I look at their first 2 games at Troy, which, being on the road is one thing.
You're traveling out to Alabama. So.
Then you got UConn at home. Then you got to go to Stillwater. Tough place to play football, trust me. And again, too, you're going to get battered out there. The Oklahoma State is going to come out hitting you. Then you got to come in.
It's not the Oklahoma State team that we saw led by Whedon of years ago. But
then you got to come back to the next week and go to Laramie, and you're going to get hit again in Laramie against the Cowboys. I guarantee you this Wyoming Cowboys defense.
More so on the defense, but again, that offense we do not know. And again, we won't know until week 1.
Well, hopefully by week 4 they got it figured out. We would hope they have it figured out by week 4.
They couldn't figure out an entire season the running game, so we'll wait and see.
Well, we're going to have to talk to some of the boys up front, too. We're going to have to figure out how they're going to get things done this year as opposed to last year where Josh Allen had to run for his life a lot. So we want to make sure that either Vanderwall or Nick Smith are not running for their life and they're able to sit back in the pocket, throw the football to the receivers, hand it off, and hopefully there's holes that they can run, our running backs can run for, at least 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
I guess you'll get your answers tomorrow between 11 and noon.
All right. Sounds like a winner to me.
Supposedly, yeah, at least.
Are we done with breaks?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, do we need to take another one?
No, we're pretty much wrapped up. I'm over here just looking at the Idaho Vandals schedule just for the hell of it.
Who cares about the Vandals?
They're at Fresno, and they'll be at home. They'll introduce it's a very interesting team up at the Kibbie Dome in Moscow, Idaho. They will introduce at least Scott Noble's Western New Mexico University will be up in the Kibbie Dome taking on the Idaho Vandals. So that's
a nice payday for Scott Noble's team.
Absolutely, yeah, because they're presented as a Hall of Fame game, and usually when you have your Hall of Fame game, that's the team you usually put a beat down on. So we'll see how that goes. But
it used to be
Idaho versus Western New Mexico.
It used to be homecoming. It was we'd always schedule a team that you would put a beat down on.
Hall of Fame, homecoming. That's I think that's what they tied into both. No one really shows up for, again, Hall of Fame. What do you got? Again, for Idaho, you have, especially football side, you got Mark Schlereth, and then your newly introduced Hall of Famer of Jerry Kramer. So that's your 2 big names. Mike Iupati, former 49er, he's still in the NFL. That's your other big name from the University of Idaho, at least football side. So,
All right, well, we're going to wrap things up.
Do you think eventually in the Hall of Fame they'll induct Jason Ficca? He's from Moscow. He went to the University of Idaho.
He has 1,000 wins at LCCC. Yeah. He's going to have to put together a few more, 20-plus wins.
He's got to be damn near close. He's put on some pretty winning seasons over there in LCCC.
Yeah, he's got it.
And we'll see another one coming up this year.
I hope so. Same with Coach Hartmeyer. We'll see if he can put up some big numbers as well. Hey, we're going to wrap things up here because I'm looking at the clock, and we want to